I wonder what would happen if ELC even could fire ATGM. Well, we no longer have to imagine, as now ELC even SS-12 is available as a top tier Era 2 tank destroyer in Cold War. And it is essentially available for free, costs 30,000 snowballs and another 2,000 to earn the skins. And you can earn 29,000 snowballs just by doing build a tank challenge. So the tank is essentially available for free, which is I guess it's good news, people can just buy it for free, but then bad news because it's gonna just ruin the matchmaking as it is. Another toxic tank. Why do I say it's toxic? Well, Weasel is an Era 3 tank, however it is bottom tier. It is just a slightly nerfed, or stats are a bit nerfed to it just for Era 2, so now this tank is a top tier Weasel. But it has better DPM, it has fully rotating turret, still keeps the proxy range camo, and it's just more sneakier, it's smaller, even more difficult to hit. So this tank can basically harass Era 2 much more effectively than Weasel can. And available for free, the heavy tanks, well, I don't even see the point of playing heavy tanks. Of course you get like some small map and you kind of push together, force them to fire within their minimum arming distance so they don't do much, but that's not going to happen. First of all, the matchmaking is going to be flooded with these tanks. You won't even know what hit you. Let's go over the setup I'm using for this tank. For equipment, I'm using Camouflage, traction system, advanced power terrain, and for skills I'm using Bond Leader, rapid loading, clutch braking, silent driving, camouflage, expertise, muffled shot, 6th sense, pain tolerance, and track mechanic. You could probably replace muffled shot with something else. And I'm using power terrain as I'm not running the med kit. I had to run smoke as well as speed along with the repair kit. So yeah, and with this setup I can hit the 85 kilometers per hour speed with the 25 power to weight. The tank is really quick, of course slightly slower than Weasel, but again it has a fully rotating turret. So you don't get into those awkward positions where you have to turn, right? You feel a little bit of limitation. That limitation is not there. Still has the same alpha, 1300, better DPM, and does have 6 degrees of gun depression, but you won't be spotted, so you can just punish the tanks. And I don't even play Cold War that much, and I'm not even good in ATGMs. But with the minimum arming distance, right, the ATGMs are faster now. So these tanks are better at sniping, or at a distance. And of course, the players that are actively play ATGM, they can just destroy tanks with this tanks. I am not an expert how to balance this tank, but I think the tank should not have, I don't think any tank should have proxy range camo, but it should be a little slower. It could have been, maybe mid tier, so that it's not that powerful. The speed could have been a bit slower. It could keep the same profile, and the reload should be longer, so it doesn't get like the 34 base 100, maybe should get like 2600 base DPM. With all the stats it has, the tank just feels, it's not going to be fun. The matchmaking is not going to be fun. Sure, when you hit tanks and pen them, it's going to be fun for you. I get it, right? I have fun as well when I'm penning shots. But then I tried to play T54D and I did not have fun. So, again, it feels broken. Should have some stats like nerfed. I don't even think the missile tank should be top tier. They should be mid tier at best, or bottom tier, so that they don't have to get these inflated stats when they are top tier. And even though it doesn't have the secondary weapon, it doesn't have that gun, but doesn't feel of much of an issue, right? It's like it's dangerous enough. And getting back to the replay, as you see, 9300 damage. I outspot tanks, fire them most of the time, not even spotted, and they can't even. Most of the time they're unable to dodge shots, or they do get penned. And with so many, I guess, more mediums in the game, it's just even more easier. Even the heavies don't stand a chance, to be honest. I've penned FPV 4211 when you know where to pen. And the other heavies, they don't even have that much of an armor, so you can easily pen their sides, fronts, and of course the back of the tanks as well. The only problem is, or the frustration part, when it's only ELC even alive or tanks with the rockets, it gets a bit awkward, as it's just difficult to pen a full pen these tanks. They're so close to you. and it's also, I guess, I don't know. I don't think it's a very fun experience to wait for 4 minutes when there are these tanks that can't really kill each other that well. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Weasel because they're fully rotating turret, but will take a while as they keep doing 300 damage and then missing, of course, because these are smaller tanks. So in this game, Redshire didn't lose any HP, managed to hit 10k damage, as well as I did pen most of my shots, and none of them were. I was not even on the move. Whenever like heavy tanks are brawling, you just get around a corner, get that minimum arming distance or away from 100 meters, and then you can just pen them reliably. I haven't bounced many shots in this this tank either. So let's get started with our second replay. Again, nothing special. Lake or Live Oaks, going towards the train tracks, trying to find targets that that are using true vision or not spotted. Of course, you know, when they're spotted, they try to back up, but when they're not spotted, you can just pen them a lot easier, as they don't move much. So what do we have? Our first target, Magaj, driving out in the open, and 1375, as well as tracked, and then he got penned by another tank. One tank that does counter this tank is again Weasel, but again, you know, in Cold War we have this one tank that is more broken than the other tank, and average tanks just suffer too much. They just suffer too much. One of the tanks that, like the missile tank, initial one that I did like was the Sheridan, actually the one I just penned, because it was bigger and had limited missiles, and the regular shells were HE, right? And I'm not really a fan of a lot of other, like I'm not a fan of these missile tanks that have proxy range camo. So first clip, 2600 damage. Centurion is spotted, and let's see if we can hit him. We do. Another 1200 damage across the map though. And yeah, the ATGMs are actually much easier to hit across the map as opposed to your APCR shells that they usually, you know, they don't get there. Sorry, they dip. They don't, over distances, they're not that accurate, but that's not the issue with ATGM. So not only do you have higher alpha, you just have better accuracy as well. So it's like a Tehran, right, in World War II. Never spotted, and it can just do some serious damage if you are stationary. And because it's true vision, it's even easier for you to get spotted. And without getting the indicator turned on that you are being targeted. Try to shoot the T10, missed. I should have focused on the light only. Score, we are winning. Their Weasel gets spotted. Too long, too far away. Changed my mind, just waiting for opportunity. Again, that guy was moving diagonally. Not great at leading missiles, especially when it comes to light tanks that are moving. So, you know, some sloppy marksmanship. But that kind of helps, you know, make the game last longer. But I've seen players that actively play Cold Wars, they don't miss. They will pen every shot, or, well, 80% of the shots. Nonetheless, I'm loaded again. The bat is unaware that there's a shell coming towards him, and hit him for 1358. Score's more even now. 6500 damage. I do have one more shell. And I thought maybe I can do another 10k here. They take out our light tank. Yep, he's dead. And their martyr, he was not moving, making it easier for me to kill him or pen him. Yeah, and I was saying, going back to the initial topic, Cold War we just get a tank that just counter each other, like they're just OP, you know. It started with Monster Jagger, then we have Weasel, then they have Gao. Like these 4 or 5 tanks, they kind of counter each other. But then majority of the tanks, you know, most of the Tech 3 tanks, they're just like HP pinatas. They might get lucky here and there, but most of the time, they're just food for these broken tanks. So yeah, a Weasel Mark 1 can kill ELC, Gao can kill Weasel, and then this tank can kill Gao. And Monster Jagger can kill everyone, but Weasel can kill Monster Jagger. So yeah, these 4 tanks, of course, like Bagel got a little balanced or nerfed. I don't know if it's still as broken as it was, but these 4 tanks, they need to be looked at. And like the DPM has to be reduced for tanks that have very high alpha, as well as like have a really great mobility and penetration. I don't think they should have crazy DPM. So 2v5. There is a guy on the cap. Threw smoke as this light was chasing me. He was stationary, so I do manage to hit a bang. Ammo racked him, I think. Bring him a total to 9800 damage. I do have 1 shell. This martyr coming, chasing me. Again, I should have penned this, but you know. And I sometimes get confused with this cross that I can't shoot them. It feels like I don't have a shot. But that's because I'm like targeting something closer. The tank, he is big, but I kind of missed it unfortunately. And now he's just closing in. I can't really outrun him either, as he is fast. And of course, the only one of the good changes that happened, minimum arming distance, I can't blast him. If that wasn't there, this tank would be insanely broken. Still broken, not as much, you know, thanks to minimum arming distance. So getting pushed by the Martyr, managed to finish him. Nonetheless though, that's it for this video. Still think this tank is broken. Let me know your opinion if you're planning to get it for free, and if you think this tank is balanced or not. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.